Hello everyone, my dear followers. Today I want to welcome you to a new chapter of What If Naruto had the Rinnegan and fell in love with TAYUYA. Remember, if you want more chapters, just smash that like and subscribe button. Enjoy.
Chapter 35 The One-Eyed God. Without a single word, Naruto tried to move out of the bed. Seeing that, TAYUYA and Tsunade stopped him. Move, Yuya, Tsunade-sama. Ruto, don't do anything rash, you're still hurt. TAYUYA told him as she tried to push him back to bed. And then, what? Leaving mother to fools who could not even protect her? Naruto asked, the tone of his voice grew colder with each words. Calm down, Naruto, Tsunade said to him as she took out a syringe full of drugs. Leave this to us and rest. When Tsunade moved to inject the drugs to Naruto, he stopped struggling. Do you two insist on getting in my way? Naruto asked to the two medics. If you fight while injured like this, you'll die. Even your chakra hasn't recovered yet, TAYUYA told him. Shinra, hearing the first word, TAYUYA's eyes widened. Tsunade-sama, run, she and Tsunade jumped away from Naruto. Did he do that just as a threat? She thought. He wouldn't really attack us, would he? Tensei, the beds and tables around Naruto were blown back several feet away. Some of them crashed onto another beds, and caused a small chaos in the medical tent. Several patients' rest were interrupted, and when they saw the condition, they panicked, thinking that the enemies have come. Tsunade and TAYUYA immediately tried to control the situation. When she moved towards a patient, TAYUYA realized Naruto's plan and looked towards him. He's gone. Where Naruto stood a few seconds ago, nothing exists. Naruto ran out of the medical tent and dashed towards the battlefield. He saw a massive statue standing at the middle of the plains. Geto Mazo. Naruto muttered as he saw it. Then he sensed it. The presence inside the statue. It is not a statue. Naruto realized. It is the god's body. Naruto's eyes widened. If that is truly the god's body, then if the Jinchuriki were captured. I have to hurry. Naruto ran, enhancing his legs with wind chakra. Itachi, who have gathered the army in preparation to attack Geto Mazo, froze hearing the news. Naruto went to the statue alone. He asked Tsunade. Tsunade sighed, yeah, I can only hope he's alright. Then she smiled, but I've seen that Tobi fight once. I think Naruto should be fine. Itachi shook his head. Tobi is not alone. The guards reported seeing him with another person. Another? TAYUYA asked in confusion. Uchiha Madara. Tobi watched as the Geto Mazo absorbed the Biju from their vessels. His Rinnegan and Sharingan eyes seemed to glow in delight as the Moon Eye plan was nearing its final phase. With this, our plan is a step closer to completion, he commented to a shinobi beside him. A long-haired shinobi wearing red armor. Do not let your guard down. Something is approaching us. Alone. Tobi chuckled. Alone. Then that must be. Naruto burst out of the forest and jumped towards Tobi. Without wasting any time, he stabbed Tobi with a sword he made. Namikaze Naruto, you again? Tobi asked. Mother. Where is she? Naruto ignored Tobi's question and glared at the masked man. Your eyes changed again, it seems, Tobi commented. Naruto's chakra flared. Where is my mother? He asked, his voice dropping into a whisper. Mother. Only now did Naruto realize the presence of a third person in this place. He turned towards the voice. Uchiha Madara. The one said to be the strongest Uchiha, the greatest traitor of Konohagakure, another chosen of Samsara. Did Tobi revive him with Samsara? He is looking for Kyuubi's vessel, Tobi told the Uchiha. Madara nodded, an Uzumaki, and those eyes. Interesting. Naruto saw Madara's eyes began to transform. He became tense, preparing to fight a Sharingan. Then the eyes turned into a ripple-patterned eyes. Rinnegan. Naruto muttered. Impossible. Rikudo told him that he rejected Madara, preventing Madara to acquire Rinnegan. His memory also matched that. Rikudo's last memory of Madara were the battle at the Valley of the End. Then how? How is it that this man acquired those eyes? No, that did not matter. What matters to him now is to save his mother. You are looking for your mother, boy? Madara asked. Then you are too late. She and the other vessels are dead. Dead? His mother? Dead? Because of this? Dead? This man killed her. Dead? Dead dead add dead. Naruto stared at the two blankly. It is because of this war. Because of this nonsense. Because of these two fools. Because of that god, crush hope. Summon despair. Naruto muttered, Heavenly Star, August Star of Evil. The middle rim tomo located at the lower part of the eye began to glow. Madara, that's. Tobi looked at Naruto's eyes in surprise and fascination. Look at the sky, Madara crossed his arms and stared. Tobi turned his head upwards and his eyes widened in surprise. In the sky was a red glowing light. The Star of Evil, I command thee. And the world around them distorted. Itachi and the army moved towards the Ghetto Mazo. However, when they entered the forest, suddenly the ground and the trees began to distort. White beings began to appear from them. Nagato recognized them instantly. It's Zetsu. Another Akatsuki member. But he was supposed to be black and white. He informed Itachi. Hello again, Leader Sama. Another Zetsu, black and white this time appeared. I'm sorry but we can't let you to interrupt Tobi and Madara-sama's plans. Hokage-sama, leave this battle to us, Asuma declared as he and the shinobi began to attack. Itachi nodded, Nagato, Jiraiya, let us move. Itachi, Nagato, Jiraiya, the other Kage and their bodyguards dashed towards the statue. Seeing them moving towards Naruto, TAYUYA followed. The battle between Zetsu army and shinobi alliance began. Madara and Tobi watched as everything around them became black. From within the darkness, countless lights began to glow. When the light was bright enough, the two could see the world around them. Horrors unable to be described by human mind surrounded them. Long tentacle-like limbs, multiple eyes and mouth, beings with no form, the unspeakable creatures. Ether anemone, crawling chaos, dark devourer, nameless mist, ultimate abomination. Monstrous beings. Cosmic horrors. Outer gods. The beings that caused Rikudo to avoid using the Star of Evil. The non-existences. Kill. With a single word uttered by Naruto, the horrors of the universe began to move, full of delight. Tobi and Madara began to fight against the endless horde. The divine push by Tobi merely tickled the creatures. The black flame of heaven summoned by Madara simply caused the crawling chaos to laugh. And inhuman sounds which could easily turn the listeners insane. Undaunted, Madara summoned two massive meteorites and sent them towards the Legion. It exploded and yet, it did not harm the monsters. Instead it seemed to amuse them. Naruto gazed at the chaos with disinterest. He saw Tobi and Madara fighting for their lives. He could see Madara managing to survive. Tobi was grabbed by a tentacle and his mask was crushed, revealing a scarred right half of the face and a normal face for the left half. Tobi tried to escape using his spacetime manipulation and yet, it was useless. Of course it is. The Lord of Time and Space, the lurker at the threshold, the all-in-one, one-in-all was watching them. It is impossible for the time and space to bend to others while the Beyond One watches. When another creature, the mother of pus, the vile, repugnant creature born of the unholy union of the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young and a man, moved to eat Tobi, Naruto could feel a surge of satisfaction rising inside him. Then a creature approached him. A woman with infinite beauty, a being that seemed to be out of place with the horrors and yet, she seemed to be right at home. When she neared him, Naruto glared. I do not recall allowing you to approach, the divinity, Dendra. The woman laughed and the form disappeared, revealing a dark abyss with numerous ugly tentacles coming out from it. When he saw the true form of the creature, Naruto winced. He could feel his sanity, his grip to reality falling. It seems that I have to end this soon. Naruto muttered as he realized that another presence, another horror approached them. Before Yog-Sothoth arrives. Before the Beyond One reached him, destroy all who oppose me. He continued the incantation. Break reality. Destroy world. The star of evil in the sky began to glow brighter. A Matsumi Kaboshi, the heavenly star, exploded. Naruto watched as Madara landed on the ground, staring at him with an expression of a mix between annoyance and approval. He turned towards the other one. The one with broken mask and broken body. It seemed that he was truly eaten by the mother of pus. Tobi's stare were empty. There is no more sanity inside him. No more life. Naruto closed his eyes. Tensei. And the broken man exploded. The world they experienced was real. The cosmic horrors were real. The existences of beings far beyond mankind was true. The star of evil, a being who is an outer god and yet, a god. Its ability acts as a gate between this world and the other world, the world of cosmic beings. Naruto walked towards Gedomazo, ignoring Madara. When he saw his mother and the other vessels' bodies, he walked to them. Then the leaders of Shinobi army entered the clearings. You are late. What is it? Naruto asked as he used his chains to carry the vessels. He noticed that Madara was no longer there, perhaps retreating to the Gedomazo. Itachi blinked. Naruto-kun, where's Tobi? Could it be that? Naruto raised an eyebrow. Tobi is dead. I killed him. Then he turned towards the Jinchuriki. Naruto-san, are you going to use that? Nagato asked, thinking that Naruto planned to use some Sara of Heavenly Life technique. I can do it in your place if you want. No need. Naruto refused as he walked towards his mother. Showing some of his power to the shinobi army would be useful. With each miracles he preformed, their all will grow. As their all grow, so will their fear. When he started his plan and form a new Akatsuki, their fear would be useful. With that in mind, Naruto began to chant. Thy who possessed no form, thy who is heaven, the Tomo, this time the left middle rim glowed. Thy who is everything, I ask thee. Lend me thy blessings, heal the wounded. Save their soul. Revive the dead, aim no Tokatachi, and the dead vessels woke up. That boy. Madara muttered. The technique that boy possessed was not normal. It was out of this world. Interesting. A part of Madara wished he could return to the battlefield and fight the boy again. It has been quite a long time since Hashirama's death. This is the first time a shinobi impressed him so. However, the Moon Eye plan comes first. He began his preparations to wake Jubi. Kushina opened her eyes. She remembered being captured and then, darkness. She looked around, thinking that this was afterlife. Around her were the other Jinchuriki, waking up while looking confused. Then she saw Naruto. Welcome back, mother. She hugged her son. Naruto blinked and returned the hug. The Kage and their bodyguards were in shock. Few know techniques that could resurrect the dead. Even fewer know techniques that could do it to a large number of people at once. And yet, this boy used one easily and he did not even look tired. After they released the hug, Naruto bowed and began to walk to the Gedomazo. Boy, where are you going? A asked. Madara is still alive. The Biju are all captured. Do you even need to ask? Itachi raised an eyebrow, then you need to wait for the army, Naruto-kun. Naruto tilted his head, why? I see no reason to do that. Anoki growled, don't get cocky boy. You haven't seen Madara's true strength. Naruto sighed, I believe I have seen what he can do. He had to admit, surviving a Matsumi Kaboshi was impressive. However, the three highest ones aside, he still possessed Amaterasu Amikami, Tsukuyomi no Mikoto and Omoshia Shikabi Hikaji. That should be enough. Besides, part of him wished to fight Uchiha Madara without any outside help. A battle against another of that man's soul. I want to fight him. Naruto muttered. He began to run towards the statue without saying another word. Son, stop. You shouldn't be reckless. Kushina shouted. Naruto turned towards her and smiled, I know what I am doing, do not worry, mother. Ruto. Tayuya called him. She was about to open her mouth when Naruto shook his head. No, stay here with mother. Do not follow me. Then he was gone. Itachi sighed, when the army arrives, we will march to the Gedomazo. Uchiha Madara, Naruto greeted as he saw the man a distance away from Gedomazo. Namikaze Naruto, wasn't it? Madara asked, a smile full of anticipation on his face, I assume that our wish is the same. Chains appeared behind Naruto and spun. It explodes as Zaogomen descended to the world. What do you think? Madara smirked, at first I believed that anything less than 5 Kage would be inadequate for me. However, I believe now that you are the only one other than Hashirama who could match me. Susanoo, a construct made of chakra appeared around Madara. Show me your power, boy. The construct was a being with 2 faces and 4 hands. 2 of the hands held huge blades in them. I see. A technique based on TAYUYA Susanoo no Mikoto, Naruto muttered. It was similar with Zhaogongan. Except that Zhaogongan is a being created by the manipulation of yin-yang chakra. Susanoo swung one of its swords towards Zhaogongan. Ukshobya, the barrier deflected the sword easily. Vajra, when the thunderbolt came crashing down to the raging god, Madara smirked. A massive meteorite fell down from the sky and the divine thunder clashed with it. Amaterasu, the black flame Naruto saw in the cosmic world appeared once again. While an outer god could survive it, he doubted he would be able to do the same. Shinra Tensei, he pushed the flames away and kept an eye on Madara. Madara formed a series of seals and slammed his hand to the ground. Jukai Koten. Nativity of a world of trees, trees began to grow on the battlefield. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Mokuton. This explained how he acquired the Rinnegan. Uchiha and Senju. Eyes and body. With the 2 together, a samsara eyes would be formed. He must have used Hashirama's blood. When the forest was formed, Madara made another series of hand seals. Seeing that, Naruto prepared his chakra. Katan, Goka Meshitsu. Fire release, great fire destruction, a stream of flame was expelled from Madara's mouth, burning the forest and continued towards Naruto. Mahavarakana. The flames disappeared the moment they touched the empty space. A defensive technique. Madara muttered. However, no matter how strong a defense is, it can be broken. Yasaka no Magatama. The Susanoo formed 3 Magatama and threw it like a shuriken towards Naruto. Naruto impassively stared as they disappeared the moment they touched his empty space. He dispelled his defense and pulled his fist back. Zhaogongan behind him did the same. Okunanushi. Watatsumi. Shinitsu Hiko. Narakami, the elements began to gather in his and Zhao's right hand. Naruto saw Madara summoning a gunbai. A massive fan used to command troops in ancient times. Come, Madara declared. Haino Kagetsuchi, as the last element gathered in his hand, Naruto dashed towards Madara and Zhaogongan moved. Yaoyorozu no Kami. Naruto and Zhaogongan swung their arms towards Madara and Susanoo respectively. Madara met his technique with the fan. The fan exploded. At that moment, so did Susanoo. However, Madara was unharmed as he skidded a few feet back. Amazing, Madara complimented. I believe that only Hashirama could destroy my Susanoo, but here you are, doing the same. Then the Uchiha smirked. Indeed. You are worthy to see it. My perfect Susanoo. Madara focused his chakra and slowly, a massive crimson being was formed. A giant wearing an armor, a Tengu mask. The giant had a long red hair which is made of flames. The giant was far larger than Zhaogongan. I am honored, Naruto nodded as he dispelled Zhaogongan. Then let us decide this in one blow. If I can destroy your Susanoo, it will be my win. If I cannot, then I will be destroyed. Madara nodded, a worthy conclusion to our battle. Let us begin, Namikaze Naruto. The Susanoo raised its blades. Chakra gathered around it, increasing its size and power. Naruto raised his hand to the sky and began his chant. O sun, shining in the heaven, bless this world with your light. The top tomo of outer rim glowed. Vanquish my enemies. Burn them. Obliterate them. I summon thee. Madara smirked in anticipation, seeing the light of the sun began to glow above Naruto. Gaishu Ishiku. Armor-sleeved single hit, the Susanoo swung the blade. Amaterasu Amikami. The raging god's blade met with the imperial goddess light. The light faded, revealing Susanoo standing without its sword. Impressive. Madara muttered as his Susanoo's armor cracked. To think that someone other than Hashirama could defeat me. The Susanoo's armor shattered and disappeared. However, my defeat means nothing, he declared as Susanoo began to fall. The revival of Jubi is complete. The Susanoo exploded, taking him with it. A massive roar resounded and Naruto froze. The shinobi army who were trying to destroy the statue froze as the statue suddenly began to move. The statue's eye opened, revealing a red ripple-patterned eye with 9 tomo. Its body began to transform. Its head became triangular and 2 horns protruded from the sides. 10 massive tails came out of its back. It roared. The one-eyed god descended upon the world. Chapter 36 Samsara. The god finally saw the land after 100 years of imprisonment. The god roared in triumph. Its eye saw the shinobi army around it and bellowed, "We have returned." Its voice echoed through the land. Rejoice. Laugh. Cry. And be destroyed. It shouted as the 9 tomo in its eye glowed. The world shall break. The world shall die. The world shall pay for their betrayal. Multiple meteors fell from the sky, each crashed and exploded through the land, creating multitude of new craters across the land. "We, your god, command you. Die." A massive meteor was formed above it and moved towards the shinobi army. "Thy who possess no form, thy who is nature," the last tomo of the middle rim glowed. "Thy who is everything, I ask thee. Lend me thy blessings, guard us. Protect us. Defend us." Omoshia Shikabihikaji. A massive barrier of light formed above the shinobi army. The meteors exploded harmlessly above it. The god stopped seeing the barrier. "You mortal who betrayed us!" it bellowed. Naruto walked out of the forest where he fought Madara. The shinobi army watched as he walked towards the god calmly. "Son! Don't go near it," Kushina shouted, worried for him. "We ask you not to worry. We will destroy it," Naruto declared as he felt Rikudo's soul joining his. Similar to how he did with the paths before acquiring samsara. "Break. Destroy. Die," the god raged at seeing Naruto. It slammed its arms to the place where Naruto stood. "Ruto!" Tayuya screamed. Naruto appeared above the god's arms. "It appears that 100 years of imprisonment left quite an impact to you," Naruto commented at the god. It was different from the one Rikudo fought. The one Rikudo fought was a true god. Be it in terms of power, skill, and intelligence. Here, it was merely a being full of rage. "How pathetic," Naruto muttered. That did not mean it was weak, though. On the contrary, Naruto could feel power around it. However, it was far weaker than the last time. "We are the god of this land. No mortal could defeat us." The tips of the god's tails began to glow. 10 black spheres formed, gradually growing larger. The shinobi army watched in fear. Itachi scowled and tried to walk out of the barrier. He failed. "Naruto! Release this technique," he shouted. Naruto shook his head. "No, even if you are out of the barrier, it means nothing. Right now, we are fighting a god. Humans' techniques are useless against it." "Then what should we do?" Nagato asked. "Watch," Naruto answered easily. "We will be the one fighting it." Even though he said that, he only had 4 summons left. Tsukuyami no Mikoto and the highest ones. "We need to make sure it hits," Naruto thought as the spheres on the god's tails continue to grow. While the other techniques that came from samsara such as Yaoyorozu no Kami and Hachiman could damage it, it would be as if someone is attacking a shield of steel with a wooden spear. "Of course, we can use that." Zaogongan. He who demands surrender appeared once more. "The techniques made by the outer one is different. At least the techniques could harm the god. Not very effective though." Vajra, the divine thunder struck the god. The god roared and the thunderbolt was dispelled immediately. Naruto narrowed his eyes, checking the damage to the 10 spheres. It did nothing. By now, each of the sphere are larger than most buildings. The tails moved and the spheres became one, creating a massive black sphere far larger than anything. Far larger than Madara's perfect Susanoo. "We suppose even samsara cannot reach a god. There is no choice, O High Creator." Naruto began. "Thy of the Most High," the right tomo in the inner rim glowed. "Hear our plea. We gave life to this land. We can take it away." It compressed the massive sphere and ate it into its mouth. "We who signed the contract plead thee." When Naruto ended the line, a large pillar of light descended, filling the area around him with light. "With thy will, a blessing," the pillar of light grew smaller, a shadow of a being with size comparable to the sphere made by the one-eyed god appeared. With blessing, a miracle. From the remaining light, a bow formed. The bow had Magatama jewels surrounding its edges. We are your god. Fear us. Kneel before us. Worship us. The god opened its mouth and shot the blast of concentrated yin-yang churka. O Heavenly One, the shadow disappeared, revealing a god, a man in pure white armor. One of the two leader of Takamagara. The creator of spirits, Takamamasubi. Takamamasubi took his bow and pulled the string. Immediately a divine arrow formed. The same arrow as the one that killed the treacherous Ame Wakahiko. As the blast grew nearer, the divine being shot. The single arrow pierced through the chakra blast and struck Ame no Hitatsu no Kami. The arrow exploded. It roared in pain as its body was obliterated by the blast. The shinobi army watched the divine god in awe as he scattered into bits of light. The light came together and formed a white Magatama which fell to Naruto's chest. 1. Naruto declared as he formed a small chain and used it to form a necklace with the jewel. The god's body regenerated, however, traces of damage could be seen all over its body. How dare you, mortal! You shall pay, the god roared, and this time, the land began to attack Naruto. The trees, the ground, the wind, all of them became enemy. Earth golems, walking trees, spirits of wind. But in the end, they were all part of nature, Naruto commented as he began to chant, O divine creator. Naruto chanted as he avoided an attack by the earth golem. Thy of the Most High, the left tomo in the inner rim glowed. Hear our plea. Naruto avoided the roots sent by a tree towards him. He summoned an earth wall as the wind spirit tried to cut him. We who signed the contract plead thee. Again, a large pillar of light descended, the same pillar that heralded Takamamasubi's arrival. With thy will, a blessing, another being with the same size of Takamamasubi appeared. With blessing, a miracle, a mirror formed from the pillar of light, floating in front of the being. This mirror had Magatama at the top, left, right and bottom part of it. O Heavenly One! The goddess wearing a pure white priestess garb revealed herself. The creator of mortals. The divine ancestor, Kamamasubi. Kamamasubi opened her hands and the mirror started to shine. This land is no longer your territory. Naruto shouted towards the one-eyed god. Immediately the spirits of the land stopped moving. Each of them returning to where they had came from. As the last of the spirit disappeared, Kamamasubi returned to the divine plane, leaving another Magatama. The Magatama joined the one Naruto wore. Second, Naruto declared as his necklace now possessed two Magatama. Throughout all of this, the shinobi watched in pure awe. A battle between gods. A battle beyond moral comprehension is occurring in front of them. Only few had different thought. Ruto, please be alright. Tayuya whispered. Son. Kushina watched as her son was now proving himself to be a grown-up young man. Taking a stand to protect everyone from a demon god. I see. Itachi muttered as he remembered the last meeting he and Naruto had before the war began. Itachi-sama. I ask you to forgive me. I will act without your consent in this war. I will use it as a stage of my power. Then, if this land needs it, I will become the target of their hate, of their fear, of their awe. I will become Akatsuki. Akatsuki, an organization which had become a symbol of fear. The only thing keeping the alliance together. Naruto, you have grown, gone where the cold boy Jiraiya knew. Replacing him was a responsible young man with determined eyes. Team 7 watched as their friend battled against the god. Can't we help him? Sakura asked. Sasuke shook his head, he is always stronger than us. After he saves us from that thing though, I'll train harder to catch up to him. Kakashi smiled, make sure you come to me if you need any advice. You three are still clueless in lots of things. Nagato sighed, in the end, looks like you managed it. Now everyone here feared you and another step is taken to our path to peace. However, Nagato could not help but feel pity for him. For his nephew. You will be hated. Your memory will be tainted. All for peace, huh? We are above you. We are the creator of this land. We are your master, the god roared. Is that so? Naruto calmly asked as he stared at the god. The tomo in the one-eyed god's eye glowed. And immediately, the moon rose to the sky. For the first time in their lives, the shinobi saw the moon and the sun appearing at the same time. Then, the moon transformed. A ripple pattern appeared on it, 9 tomo formed. Suddenly it began to shook. The god's body changed once more. Spikes began to come out everywhere, on its arms, its legs, its head, so it showed its true form at last. Naruto muttered, "The heaven tremble before us. The earth kneel before us. The underworld bow before us." The moon began to glow red and descended. "Do you know how hard we worked to recover the moon last time we fought you?" Naruto shouted to the Hitatsu no Kami. It simply roared. "Just like last time, the moment it entered this form, it is nothing more than a beast," Naruto stated. "How annoying. We suppose we have to destroy it like long ago." Naruto muttered, "O moon, lord of the night, illuminate the darkness. Chase away the shadows." The last of the outer rim tomo began to glow. "Be pulverized. Be crushed. Be annihilated." As the moon grew closer, Naruto continued his chant. "We summon thee, Tsukuyami no Mikoto." A massive sphere with exactly the same size as the one approaching him appeared and moved towards it. The moment the avatar of God and the moon clashed, they exploded, sending pieces of the satellites towards many directions. Seeing the symbol of its power destroyed increased the god's rage. It began to swing its tails wildly, destroying the place. The shinobi army watched in fear as the tails that moved close to the barrier were deflected. "This should be enough," Naruto muttered as he jumped away, avoiding the god's hand. Naruto grabbed the 2 magatama the Musubi gave him. He placed them in his hands. One on the left and one on the right. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes, clearing his thoughts. "O Creator." Naruto chanted, and unlike the others, this time his voice was quiet. "Thy of the Most High." The last tomo glowed and Naruto was washed in a white light. "Hear our plea." The god's tail moved towards Naruto. His friends in the shinobi army shouted. He ignored them. "We who signed the contract plead thee." The tail was cut the moment it struck Naruto. The one-eyed god roared in pain. "With thy will, a blessing." Naruto's voice began to get stronger as the magatama on the right glowed. "With blessing, a miracle." The other magatama glowed. "With miracle, a world." Naruto shouted. The 2 magatama's light grew and covered the whole area. "O Central Master," the one-eyed god tried to grab Naruto with its hand. "Ain no Minakanushi," the hand exploded. The primordial one, the Central Master, creators of Kamimusubi and Takamimasubi appeared as a light. The light that covered its summoner. The light floated towards the one-eyed god and covered it. The one-eyed god screamed as its power was taken and its skin burned. The power inside the one-eyed god became another magatama. This one was black. The magatama moved and placed itself on Naruto's necklace. From the light, came another white magatama. It floated in front of Naruto. Naruto bowed in appreciation. The light disappeared as Ain no Minakanushi returned to the highest plane. Even a single impurity would be crushed. To meet with the central one, he had to wipe all thoughts and desire. To reach the state of enlightenment. 3. Naruto stated as the third magatama floated in front of his face, forming a triangle. The last tomo in his eyes faded. Zoka Sanshin, Chibaku Tensei. 3 gods of creation, heavenly body bursting from the earth, Naruto declared as the magatama in his left hand shattered and formed a white sphere. Alone the magatama did nothing. However, with all 3 together, he was allowed to use the power of the gods of creation 3 times. He threw it above the raging one-eyed god. The god roared in anger as its body was dragged to the sky. "We will not die. We will not accept this." It continued to roar even as it rose on the sky. Naruto raised his hand and shattered the magatama in his right hand. Chains appeared around him and moved to capture the god into a sphere, finally stopping the sounds of the god's voice. "Give up, we have won." Zoka Sanshin, Yomi. 3 gods of creation, underworld, the chains closed and pieces of the land began to cover the ball of chains. Finally, Naruto took the last magatama and crushed it while declaring his technique name. The same one Rikudo used 100 years ago, remember this. We are the ones who will establish peace and order. Zoka Sanshin, Suki. 3 gods of creation, moon. The second moon flew to the sky and disappeared to the orbit. It continued to pull all asteroids, all objects in the space, and finally rested at the place where the old moon was. Exactly the same size as the old one. Naruto saw the sphere disappearing inside in relief while the shinobi army watched the sphere flying to the sky in shock. "Welcome back," he told the black magatama attached to his necklace. He could feel the presence of Rikudo's 9 children in it. He thought of releasing them back to the wild, but then he was worried about the shinobi using them again. That's weird. Why do we feel so tired? Then Naruto realized. Of course he was tired. He fought the one-eyed god with the same techniques Rikudo did. His chakra was not as large as the sage. To add, he fought multiple enemies before that. Sleep. He muttered as he felt his consciousness fading and Rikudo disconnected himself from Naruto. When Naruto collapsed, the barrier surrounding the shinobi army did the same. Immediately TAYUYA and Kushina ran towards Naruto. Itachi and the others following behind them. TAYUYA grabbed Naruto's body. "Ruto! Ruto!" TAYUYA called, worried that he was dying. "Yuya, sleepy, sing me a lullaby." Naruto muttered as he hugged TAYUYA. Kushina looked surprised but then laughed. "Seems like he's okay," she told the others. The shinobi army cheered seeing their hero, their savior was alright. Itachi shook his head while smiling. "Seems like he defied our expectation, right Jiraiya-sama?" Jiraiya laughed. "He didn't defy it. He basically flew through it while giving it a middle finger." The next day, Naruto woke up with a yawn. Where? Then he noticed that he was strapped to the bed with chains. "What is this?" Naruto shouted in surprise. "Tsunade-sama told us to do that in case you try to escape," TAYUYA told him as she entered the medical tent. "This is the medical tent, by the way. The same one you destroyed. Now reconstructed into the hero's room. Or as Jiraiya-sama called it, the hero's prison." Prison is correct. "I cannot believe Tsunade-sama would do this." Naruto stopped struggling and laid down on the bed. TAYUYA blinked. "Aren't you going to break the chains?" Naruto shook his head. "No, doing that will cause Tsunade-sama to be angry. If she is angry, she will return me back to the hospital. With even more security." "That is." TAYUYA laughed. "You're right about that." Then the two fell into a comfortable silence. Naruto blinked as he heard the sounds of people laughing and cheering. "What are they doing?" Naruto asked. "Partying. For the victory in war, I mean. They are waiting for you actually, but Tsunade-sama basically told them that anyone who tries to interrupt your rest will have some intimate moments with her fists. Also, with your mother's chains." Naruto chuckled. "I suppose they will do that." The two were silent again. This time, it was TAYUYA who broke it. "Hey, Ruto," TAYUYA began. When Naruto looked at her with a questioning eyes, she continued. "Will you tell me your secrets?" There is no need to ask whether he kept secret or not. Of course he do, that is how Naruto is. Naruto smiled. "Might as well tell you a story. It all began the moment a Naruto. Jiraiya shouted as he entered the tent. "Break the chains. I'll help you escape." Naruto blinked but then smirked. "I will tell you later, Yuya. For now, bye." Naruto broke from the chains and joined Jiraiya as they ran out of the tent. TAYUYA blinked but then realized what just happened. "Tsunade-sama." Jiraiya took Naruto away. She shouted to Tsunade who was in another medical tent. "What?" "Jiraiya. Naruto. Come back here," the legendary medic with demon fist shouted as she ran chasing the two. TAYUYA laughed as she joined the chase. They ran through the clearings where the shinobi are drinking and partying around. The shinobi who are still sober blinked as they looked at the sight. The hero and the toad Sannin were chased by the slug Sannin and the hero's girlfriend. "Catch them at all cost, TAYUYA." Tsunade shouted as she punched several shinobi who were in her way. TAYUYA grinned. "Those who can catch those two will be given a picture of Tsunade-sama," she declared. Immediately, a fire burned in the shinobi eyes. Well, more like a perverted lust. But it did the trick as the shinobi began to chase the two. Naruto and Jiraiya ran through the plains and moved towards the Kage who were talking with each other. Itachi-sama. Join us. Naruto shouted as he grabbed Itachi with him. Huh. Itachi blinked as he was dragged away. Mei laughed as she saw the three running, she gasped in mock outrage. The Hokage has betrayed us. Men, capture those three. The shinobi army roared in agreement as the events known by the future generation as the Great Chase began. Incidentally, the war happened at the northeast of the Konohagakure and they ran until they fell from exhaustion in Sunagakure Desert. 3 months after the war, the world changed greatly. The shinobi alliance still continued. While there were some people who tried to rebel, they were dealt quickly by a mysterious organization. Sasuke, Sakura and Haku continued to rise through the ranks and they became Jonin Sensei. As of right now, Sakura and Haku had taken their teams while Sasuke rejected all the team he had. Come on, Sasuke-kun. Pick a team already. Unless I get a genin team with potential as high as our team, I won't teach them. Sasuke-kun, I am afraid that is impossible, seeing as Naruto-san is in your team. Kakashi became a Jonin Sensei of another team. Though he was disappointed that they did not make Tsukomi as good as his old team made. Boring, can't you guys react to my jokes enthusiastically? Jiraiya continued to write Ika Ika series and is currently known as the best, perverted, writer in the land. Though Naruto did send him a letter one day, I found a book you wrote long ago. The Tale of the Utterly Gutsy Shinobi, huh? I like it. Reports said that Jiraiya cried for days reading that. Tsunade lead the first intervillage hospital. She and her apprentice Shizen continues to heal people who needs them. Where the hell is Jiraiya? And saving women from Jiraiya's antics. Itachi is still the Hokage, though recently he started to relax thanks to the peaceful times. Today, though, he was very busy. Hokage-sama. Even though there is a sale for Pocky in Kumogakure, you can't abandon your duties. Who cares about duty when you can have Pocky? Open the gates or I'll burn it with Amaterasu. Extremely busy. Konan and Nagato disappeared. There were rumors about another Akatsuki group rising from Amigakure. Nagato, don't be too reckless, okay? No need to worry. I will live as long as I can. So that he won't have to take my place. The Jinchuriki all had returned to their villages, except for Fu who continued to live with the Uzumaki. Fu-chan, why are you asking me to teach you how to cook? Well, I want to give this to the others next time we meet them. Also, these are for Naruto-san and TAYUYA-san. By the way, the next day, the 9 Jinchuriki were entered to the intervillage hospital because of food poisoning. Naruto and TAYUYA who were saved from the food poisoning was now on a trip to a certain island near Konohagakure. Shisui-sama, I did it. The peace you seek, the peace we seek is here. I hope you can rest in peace now, sensei. Ruto's sensei. Thank you for taking care of him and raising him 3 years ago. Without you, I'm sure he will be the same bastard he was when I first met him. That really hurts, Yuya. Shut up, I'm still angry that you keep that ghetto girl a secret from me. I told you 3 months ago. A shadow watched the two laughing together. Aren't you going to greet them? Ao from Kirigakure asked. The man shook his head. No, Naruto have grown well. I am content. After Naruto and TAYUYA returned towards Konoha, Naruto stopped while staring at the forest near his house. His black magatama which contained his 9 children glue. This presence is, should I check it out? Nah, no need. We should relax, right? Ninjendo asked him. Your struggles end 3 months ago, master, Shirato told him. Peace good. Chikashodo happily shouted. Jayaha dash. Kakido was silenced immediately. Be quiet, Kakido. My lord, there is no reason for you to do so, Jigakudo said to him as he shut Kakido up. Well, on one hand, it might be dangerous but it does sound exciting, doesn't it? Geto asked. Naruto could imagine her grinning. We will always be with you. No matter what you choose, Rikudo declared. TAYUYA blinked. What's wrong, Ruto? I feel as if my life will change forever if I enter that forest. Naruto shook his head. No, it is nothing. I wonder what should I cook today. Anything you cook is delicious. Don't worry. Naruto and TAYUYA smiled as they entered the house. Mother, we are home. Inside the forest near Naruto's house, a naked little girl looked to be about 10 with long white hair and single visible red eye sat. The girl turned her blank stare towards where Naruto stood outside the forest. Slowly, she smiled. Shall we play another game, mortal god? You won't beat us this time.